On this video, we're going to be talking about how do you get in and out the dealership within an hour with buying a car with bad credit. Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked, because in this video, you need to follow the simple steps that I'm going to give you to be in and out of a dealership in 1 hour. That's 60 minutes in and out. But you got to do these things to prepare before you actually go into the dealership. Number one, you need to identify the dealership where you want to buy your car at. Whether you're asking a neighbor, a cousin, or friend, where did you buy your last car from? But when you find out the dealership, or you identify the dealership you want to go to, even if you have bad credit, because this video is dedicated to customers or people that have bad credit, you want to call in there and say, do you deal with customers that have bad credit? If you filed a Chapter 7 and it's discharged, or you filed a Chapter 13, or you know Chapter 7 is not discharged and you're ready to buy a car before it even is discharged, you want to ask those questions. Do you deal with customers in my situation? Or you had a repossession, maybe it was 6 months ago, a year ago, or maybe you have credit cards that you weren't able to pay and they're charged off now. Make sure that dealership has the lenders, has the banks that's going to be able possibly to approve you. So that's the first thing you want to do. Call ahead. Do you deal with customers in my situation? Do you have the banks that possibly help me? And after you identify that dealership, go to that dealership's website. And what are you going to do? You're going to put a credit application in at that dealership. You know, if you're looking to buy a car from me, you will go to my website, which is reginathequeenofcarloans.com, reginathequeenofcarloans.com, and put an application in 24 hours a day. In the top right hand of my website, you have the inventory. All the cars that I have in stock is on my website. If you're looking for a new Chevy, Buick, GMC, or brand new Ford, I can help you. I work at the Chevy store in Waterford, Michigan, Joe Longhammer Chevrolet, 475 Summit Drive. But we also have a Buick GMC store. That's about 12 to 15 minutes away from the Chevy store. That's Longhammer Buick GMC. And then we have a Ford store, Longhammer Ford in Owasso, Michigan, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from the Chevy store. Now, if you go to my website, reginathequeenofcarloans.com, any vehicle that you're looking for, you can just put it in there. If you're looking for a 2025, let's say GMC Terrain, or if you're looking for a 2026 Chevy Blazer, you're just going to put Chevy, and then you're going to put Blazer, and you're going to put that in, and whatever we have in stock comes up. But the great thing about this of getting cars or buying a car from Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, I have over 400 used cars in stock between all 3 different stores. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you in the United States and you're looking to buy a car from the Queen, you can put an app in, because guess what? We do deliver. So anyway, if you are looking to get pre-approved, if you're looking to buy a car, get pre-approved first. That is the main thing, because guess what? You do not want to step foot into a dealership and you're not approved, especially if you have bad credit. Now remember, this video is for individuals that have bad credit, not the good credit people, right? The bad credit people, because that's 95% of my business. So get pre-approved first. That's the first thing you want to do. Now, listen, after you're pre-approved, or let's back up. After you put a credit application in on my website, reginathequeenofcarloans.com, you're going to receive an email that's going to come right back to you after you hit the submit button, and I'm going to ask you for a pay stub, proof of income. What does that look like? If you work in a job, and whether you're part-time or full-time, you need to submit 2 current pay stubs. It doesn't matter whether you get a car from Regina 20 Car Loans, or you get a car from any dealership with that specializes a customer with bad credit. They're going to ask for proof of income. If they ask for proof of income, which we call POI, you're going to need to submit 2 current pay stubs within 30 days. Now, we don't want to pay stuff from 6 months ago. We don't want to pay stuff from 4 months ago. Why? Because you might have quit that job. The bank wants to make sure that you are working that job when you buy your car. So 2 current pay stubs within 30 days. Now we're really getting into number 2, preparing to go into the dealership. And that's when you're going to take your pay stubs. You're going to gather everything you need before you go to the dealership. The worst thing that you can do, what really upsets me, is when customers, you tell a customer what they need to bring in and they don't bring it in. I already have you pre-approved. I already have you ready to go, but you don't bring in the documents that I asked you to bring in. Or if I say, would you email it to me? You don't do that. You give me exact the opposite for what I asked for. So before you go on a dealership, or when you're going to a dealership, you want to have 2 current pay stubs within 30 days. You want to have your driver's license or your state ID. Now remember, just because you got bad credit, you have loose credit, doesn't mean you can't buy a car without a driver's license. You can buy a car for state ID. Now that's a nugget. You can buy a car with a state ID. You don't necessarily have to have a driver's license unless that bank says you you need a driver's license. Now with us, if a driver's license is needed, the finance manager is going to be a little note in there on the approval that says driver's license. So if you don't have a driver's license, you have a state ID, then you just want to know that let that particular dealership know, or that particular salesperson, whoever you're dealing with, or you go in a dealership, that you don't have a driver's license, but you have a state ID. Now, what we do is if you tell us you have a state ID, sometimes we ask why, or sometimes I may ask why, but I'm going to ask you for your state ID, your picture. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right in the office and we're going to run your ID. Now, what does that mean? Regina, you guys are going to run my ID. What does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to make sure that you can register that car in Michigan, because sometimes when people don't have driver's license, they have state ID, maybe they had a DUI, maybe you've been driving, been doing a little tipsy, been drinking a little bit, and you got stopped by the cops and the police, and now you have a DUI on your record. Or maybe you have tickets, or maybe your license is suspended. I don't know why your license is suspended, but you're not able to register a car in Michigan. So when a red flag goes up, when you have a state ID and not a driver's license, I'm going in the office regardless of the fact, because I just want to make sure that you can register a car. So the biggest thing that you can do when it comes to buying a car is that you need to be honest. Let the salesperson know, let the dealership know, let them know what you're working with, because you never know when we can get around things. So, okay, you got your pay stubs. If you're self-employed, you need to have 3 months bank statements. If you are retired, you need proof of that income, with this pension or with the Social Security, proof of that. More than likely, dealerships we want 1 month bank statements showing your money going into your account. And then if you trade in a vehicle and you're looking to buy a car and you owe money on it, or you don't owe money on it, you just want to maybe know what is that vehicle worth. Most dealerships have trade-in options where you can put your information on the dealership website, put your VIN number in, maybe you can upload some pictures, maybe you can put the miles on their website, saying what they think what your trade is worth. So if you owe $11,000, you provide everything to the dealership, to the part that you need to put in, saying what your car is worth. If you owe $11,000 on your car, maybe they're going to give you $8,000, maybe they're going to give you $9,000. But it's just an estimate. It's only an estimate. But it's also, how's the car drive? How did you take care of your car, the inside and out? Most dealerships websites have trade-in options where you can get an estimate. You want to know what your trade is worth. Okay, you got everything up. You then did the credit application. They came back, they said you're approved, you're ready to go, you got all your pay stuff, you got everything in order. Now you trade in your car. You want to know what you owe on your vehicle. Now, I know in Michigan, a lot of Michigan credit unions don't want to give us, the dealership, a payoff. Only payoff that you're going to get from a credit union in Michigan, I can't speak for other states, is that the member has to call their credit union and obtain a payoff. So which means that the customer calls the credit union, gets a payoff sent to them, right? Email to them or fax to the dealership or email to the salesperson, so that you'll be more prepared when you go in, because you already have that payoff. Or you got an email from the person at the dealership and have that payoff emailed to the dealership. Now, why do you do this before you go to the dealership? Because remember, I said be in and out in hours. By the time a salesperson has to call and get a payoff on your car, that's going to take another 10 or 15 minutes to get that to happen. Depends on the whole time when they call the credit union. And then also waiting for the fax to come over, the email to come over for the payoff. Because when you go in a dealership, remember, it's going to be about 10 or 15 minutes getting that car appraised by a used car manager or a manager. So that's time too. Remember, this video is talking about getting in and out of the dealership. And guess what? Being out in an hour and you got bad credit. So that's number 2. Actually, I'm sorry. I gave you 2 and 3 together, because 3 was supposed to be putting your trade information in there. So I gave you 2 and 3 together. I gave you 2 saying what you need to bring into the dealership, what you need to have prepared, and then getting that payoff. That was number 3. So 1, 2, 3 is what I've covered already. Now listen, number 4. This is number 4. This is very important that you know this. Down payment. You don't call the dealership and after you put a credit application and somebody calls you and they say, well, how much money you put down? I don't know. Now, come on. What are you working with? How much money are you working with? If you're calling me and you put a credit application in with me, these are the key words I'm going to say to you. How much down payment are you working with? Then I'm going to be quiet, right? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wait for you to answer me. How much down payment are you working with today? And the reason I say today is because I'm not caring about what you have for down payment 6 months from now, 2 months from now, next week. I'm talking about today, because you called to buy a car today. I'm going to say, how much money down are you working with today? And after I be quiet, you say, oh, I got $2,000 $2,000 down, my next question is going to be, do you have that $2,000 down ready and available? Is it available today? Or you say, well, no, it's coming for 401k. And then in my mind, if it's called 401k, how long is that going to take? That's probably going to take maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, unless you already put in for it. So down payment, to know what you're putting down, is very important. So remember, you got a trade-in and you don't owe the money on, you can use your trade-in as down payment, okay? You can do that. And if you put money on it and you're in an equity position, maybe your car is worth more than what you owe, then you can use that as down payment and use cash. Or you don't have to put down payment down if you can get done zero down. Remember, down payment is always not necessary, but it's always going to be a question that they ask. So if you don't have any down money and you don't have any down payment available, don't be scared. Just say, I don't have any money. I would like to see if I can do zero down. Because guess what? If you don't ask, you don't receive. Let's skip on over to the next one. Choose your salesperson. And that really honestly goes all the way back to the beginning. Because if you're going and you're asking your neighbor, your friend, or someone you know, who did you buy your car from? If they say, you know what? Oh, I bought my car from a Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Well, who was your salesperson? Who sold you the car? You know, the worst thing that a person can do if they buy a car at a local dealership and they can't remember their salesperson, that would upset me so bad if a customer bought a car from Joe Longhammer Chevrolet and they didn't remember my name. You know why it upset me? That means I didn't do my job. There's something that I didn't do that you couldn't remember me. But they call me the queen, so they don't have to say Regina. They can say, the queen. They say that, people know who I am. Again, if you looking for a car and you are doing the right thing in the beginning, you're asking around if you haven't bought a car or you want a certain car, choose your salesperson up front. How do you do this? I'm glad you asked. You call a dealership, you know what? You said, looking for somebody that specializes with customers that have bad credit. I want somebody to be to walk me through it. I want somebody to make the process easy for me. Easy peasy. So you can ask when you call, or you can go to the dealership website and you can look at the salespeople that on the site. What do they do? Or you can call and say, you know what? How long has this person worked at a dealership? You know, you want to talk to someone that deals with customers that have bad credit, you know, like myself, and I want somebody that has over 10 years experience. I just want to talk to a sales, you know, that's up to you. It's all about what you need. Me, you know, I specialize with customers with bad credit. I want somebody that knows what we're talking about. I want somebody that's going to work different ways of helping me get into a car. I want somebody that's going to step out the box. I want somebody that's going to walk me through the process. I want somebody that's going to make it easy for me. Now, I'm saying I probably said I 3 times, because if I was in your shoes, I'm going to be looking for those things. Somebody's going to take care of all my needs and wants. Somebody that specializes what I need. People with bad credit. Number 3, do you have experience? And do you step out the box? Or are you still in that little square circle, taking a credit application, making a copy of everything, and then take it into finance? If you follow these steps in the beginning, before you go to dealership, you watch this video, you'll be more prepared, you'll be happier, you will be in and out within an hour. I forgot to leave one thing out. Now, if you have a trade-in, do you have a copy of your insurance? Or if you don't have a trade-in, maybe you got a car you're not trading in, but you have current insurance, it's very important that you bring your insurance. Now, most people, if they know what car they're getting, especially if they have bad credit before they go in the dealership, most people, not most people, but some people call ahead to the insurance company and get a quote. They're going to find out what that car is going to cost them to be able to insure it. Or if you haven't called, know where you're going to get your insurance from. You know, worst thing you can do is get to the dealership and guess what? You don't have any car insurance. You don't know who you're going to call. So that's when you call ahead. When you talk to a salesperson, somebody sees it. You say, you know what? Do you have an insurance company that can take care of me? Can I talk to that person ahead of time? I have my insurance people on lock. What does that mean? I have them on speed dial. When I call, they pick up. And the reason you want to kind of do this beforehand, if you can, is because you'll know what you're working with. Now, we're talking about being in and out within an hour, right? So preparing and knowing that is very important. You can always prepare. Prepare more in time of peace. That's what my dad used to tell me. Now, if you don't have insurance, you wait to the dealership to actually get insurance. It's just going to prolong the time over an hour. Because what happens when you get to the dealership, you know, by the time you already picked out your car before you got there, or if you didn't pick out your car, maybe you couldn't get the car you wanted, and the salesperson is already ahead of that time. They have a couple cars or cars picked out for you to see whether you're okay with the cars that we got you approved, and then you make a choice, right? You're still gonna have to call that insurance company, have a conversation about your insurance. You don't have your insurance ahead of time and you find a car for the first time, or you let your insurance lapse, then that's gonna take a little longer. So there we going into an hour and a half in the dealership. But listen, you watch this video, maybe you can be in in and out an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But I'm just letting you know the things that you need to do before you go to the dealership. And then if you don't have all those things in order, it's okay. But just be prepared to spend a little time, eat lunch at the dealership, eat your dinner. Be careful because you're not the only person looking for a car. But on this video, I hope that this helps you because I spent a lot of time writing things down to make sure that you're good. But let me just say this. If you check this video out the entirety, you need to subscribe to my channel. I'm commenting about it because I work real hard to give you all the information that you need. Now, this video is going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to do all that. So again, if you watch this video to the end, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you on the next video.